Hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for showing up. If you're on this live, if you are not on this live, if you are on watching this on a rebroadcast, you're listening to it on Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast, anywhere. Hey, welcome. Thanks for being here. So we're going to be doing a masterclass today on one of my favorite topics, which is reputation-based marketing and reputation in the to build your business and where reputation fits in. There's all these things that come together. We keep talking about. That's why every month we're doing these really deep dive master classes. Some people charge tons of money to learn this level of training and thought. So enjoy the fact that you get it. You get to tap into how to build $1 million business, how to double your business in the next year, how to grow $1 million cleaning company in 2 to 3 years, just by following along and putting the right pieces in place in the right order. This is one of those pieces.
Welcome to the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast, a show created to inspire carpet cleaning business owners to build their own thriving residential and commercial cleaning business. Your host, John Clendenning, has built and sold successful cleaning businesses for multiple six figures over his 30-year career and is the founder of Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters, a digital agency that turns your online marketing into a lead generation machine. Tune in as John shares proven tips, strategies, and expert interviews to help fast-track your success in the carpet cleaning industry.
There, I'm up in the top corner now. And again, our topic is marketing reputation in the AI age. So it's more important than stars and reviews. So we're going to talk about that. Why, everybody chases reviews. Oh, I need more reviews. I need reviews. Can I send a link to my client? I need to get reviews. And that, while that is handy, and some people do go to Google to read reviews, what we're going to prove here is that's barely the tip of the iceberg. And we might be spending a little bit too much focus and attention after the first period of getting sort of in the game, might be spending too much focus and attention on one area and overlooking all of the rest of the story and where it all comes together. So to kind of give you a little bit of background, why is this such a passionate topic of mine? So I started 2010-ish while running my carpet cleaning company, duct cleaning, maid services, janitorial services, multi-million dollar, more than $1 million a year business. And we just came out of the recession, 2008, 9, 10 recession. Prior to that, I knew through all the training, to the Dan Kennedys, the Joe Polishes, the Howard Partridges, all the rooms I sat in, Steve Taberia, however you pronounce his last name, I can never get that right. Strategies for success, and I was just a student of marketing, student of growth, student of our industry, but not really. Again, did we learn how to get red wine stains out and pet urine out? Absolutely. I sent technicians to those trainings after a while. I didn't need to know that. I needed to know how to grow a company, make a great service, hire train people, like do a lot of good marketing to create an operations problem, learn how to manage an operation and people to then create a problem and an executive CEO finance and data problem. And then you just cycle around that. So as you grow, you create the next level problems that you have to solve. And in the middle of all that, one of the marketing problems we solved was I knew that people didn't know who to trust. So our back in the day, our flyers, our yellow page ads, days before the internet, all of that were different. And we had the consumer awareness line. Anybody could call and listen to a recorded message, whether you're hiring us or anybody else, learn what questions to ask and what the different methods are all about and stuff like that. And what I realized was people were looking to figure out who to trust, because there wasn't anything called Google reviews or all that kind of stuff. Anytime we landed or we sent a proposal, dropped off a proposal for commercial carpet cleaning or tile cleaning or anything like that, it would be a 15-page document kit. There would be the cover page, a cover letter, and then the quote page, what we talked about, and then the quote, and then the service maintenance agreement if they wanted to sign on to multiple cleaning, stuff like that, and an explanation of that, why we're different, and then it would be letter after letter after letter, photocopied letter of all of our, that we got from other clients endorsing us. So before reviews, it was testimonial letters. Still important to this day. You still want to get those from your clients. We'll talk about that as well. So, if what I did in 2010 is I was explaining this I was doing a quote at a customer's home, and the fellow was doing some internet marketing. I looked over and go, oh, I know who that is. You're a carpet cleaner. How do you know anything about marketing and internet marketing? What's this all about? And we had a conversation. Turned out he was a consultant that spoke at the local chamber. He invited me to do a presentation. He did these 3 weeks in a row morning sessions every so often. And I went and spoke all about reputation and reviews and all of this kind of stuff, and created a whirlwind, which turned out to be the digital marketing agency I first started well before Carpet Cleaner Marketing Masters, because what we were doing then is getting your Google Maps right and creating the right framework to get feedback, reviews, and market your reputation properly. We were doing that right when this whole new thing called, Google My Business, and it's called Google Local back then, Google Places actually before Google Local. And when Google was just starting to figure out how to put reviews in and all that kind of stuff. And we understood that people were not calling the consumer awareness line much anymore because they were going somewhere else to get their trust figured out. And it wasn't just Google, but it was a starting point. So I've been in this game for 15 years now, built software around it. Repignition is our software program, $2 million in development and growing so far. And it's all around the psychology of how you convert better and why this is important. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So again, big subject, lots of stuff, and we're going to get through sort of a master class on how to think through this, how to set this up, how it can transform your business, and how AI has changed everything. So turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook. If you're cleaning home service and you're serious about growing, the next 60 minutes, we know it's going to go a little bit longer probably, but the next 60 to 75 minutes is going to be really, really impactful. We're going to cover why Google reviews alone are not enough. So anybody who's telling you just need more Google reviews, use our tool, get Google, they've missed the boat. They don't, and I'm going to prove that to you. I'm not just saying that. I'm going to absolutely prove that to you today. How AI enhanced outreach across platforms speeds up reputation growth, from feedback to influence, evolving happy customers into, here's a new term for us, reputation capital. So reputation management, very passive. Reputation marketing, very active. Reputation capital is how all of that sits in the marketplace and starts building your brand awareness and your brand authority in the local marketplace. So how consistent customer experience drives loyalty and credibility as well. So we got a lot of things to cover. So the least of which is, who am I if you're brand new to this call? But so obviously I've been in the cleaning industry, started carpet cleaning in 1995, but in the industry since 1990, final year of high school. You guys might know that story a little bit. But I've hosted 2 and 3 day elite retreats. The most recent one was in March with the ISSA and CleanFacts. We did a 2-day private sessions on the changing world around us for carpet cleaners and home cleaning services. It was a 2-day full day from 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning till like 5 o'clock at night. Packed room, virtually training as well. I think it was $297, and hundreds of people showed up for that. So I've done that. I've been a consultant in the industry as well, helping people grow $1 million cleaning companies or whatever level they want to be at and maximize their profitability. Wrote the book on the subject, got a new book hopefully coming out over the course of this fall on how AI has changed enhanced all of the role. It doesn't, the book that we're talking about there, the complete guide to internet marketing, there's a lot that is just about marketing. It's a lot that's just about the psychology. So there isn't a lot of the things in that book are still, almost all the things in that book are still relevant. AI is just enhanced and adapted some of those. So we're going to have a sort of the AI updated version of that coming out soon. Again, I'm writing it, not AI, but it's how AI deals with all of that kind of stuff. So anyways, I help cleaning business owners reach their growth potential with tested and proven systems. This is one of them that we're going to talk about today. So Yep, obviously industry leader of the year in Clean Facts magazine, do all that kind of stuff. Speak on stages with Howard Partridge and all that kind of stuff. So guys I used to sit in the audience of, I now get to rub shoulders with. That's always kind of fun. Um, this is more fun. I like having our clients grow their profits. Some people don't want to grow the size of their business. They don't want extra crews. They just want to be more profitable, grow their rankings everywhere, be seen as the number one cleaner, and just exit, like sell their businesses off, things like that. This fellow here, Robert Crease, built a great business and sold it off. We were the only marketing wing that he'd ever used, things like that. That happens a lot with our clients who, as they get older, they say, you know what, I need to solidify the business and either run it like Vance does, a couple hours a month, after, and has operations and systems running it with really great marketing. Robert decided to sell and travel, and those kinds of things as well. And if you're younger than my age and our crowd, then you're looking just to build a massive empire, potentially, or something that even if you have to take time off, you need to take a month off, 2 months off to help a sick loved one, or travel, or you sprain your ankle, or whatever, life happens, the business still runs and it still makes money. So you don't want to be sort of like just the chuck in a truck, as we call it. You want to be a growing enterprise so that you have something that's an asset, something you can sell, and your reputation and the reputation of your brand is the most important. That's why, it's more important than Google Ads. It's more important than SEO. It's more important than anything. Your reputation and your brand's reputation in the marketplace. And now AI has made that absolutely critical. And if you haven't figured that out, we're going to show you that today. So we make our clients the top cleaning brand in the local marketplace, so they attract the best clients, are able to charge top rates, and are booked out weeks in advance. We do that with our Omnipresence marketing system. It's a done together marketing. There is no light switches in marketing. There is no, oh, here, let me hand you that and you go do that for me. Business growth is a two-way street. You need help from people, but you need to be knowing your role and sticking within your role as well, and working the two together. It is a mesh of a whole bunch of things. There is 7 essential digital marketing services, digital marketing platforms that you need to be tying together. There's 7 essential of those, but that's just the digital side. That has nothing to do with the offline, the customer database, the client experience, the local in the marketplace stuff as well. All of those tie together so that when you go talk to somebody and they go, I wonder if these guys are any good. They go look at your website. They go, oh my gosh. And the website tells a proper story, not a bunch of babies lying on carpets and families and dogs sitting on couches, but the actual story of your business. It helps telling happy customer stories. We'll talk about that today as well. All of those kinds of things just really, set the feeling. You told them something, they heard about something, they saw a van in a drive-through, they saw a van in a neighbor's driveway, they got a door hanger, saw a yard sign, the real estate agent referred them, the carpet flooring store referred them, the maid service referred them, the interior designer referred them, the Mercedes dealership referred them, like wherever they heard about you from all the different avenues. Now they got to go, but do I trust? Do I trust? The very next thing everybody does is a trust search, and that does not mean Google. Sometimes, but not all the time, and not actually even the majority of the time looking at the stats. But the ones that go to Google will be reading some reviews if they see you, but understand that even Google Maps, you can have reviews sitting on Google. They need to know your business name to find them, because if they go and look for carpet cleaner near me and you're more than 10 or 15 miles away, do you have a second location? Do you have a second Google Maps outlet? Because unless you're in a small town, your Google Maps isn't shared that far anyways. Or if it is, it's because you spent the last couple of years doing a lot of really good Google Maps marketing in the mix of website marketing, in the mix of SEO marketing, in the mix of all of that together. And then it starts expanding your Google Maps territory with really good marketing. But on its own, you don't just put yourself on there and, we want to put you in front of everybody else who's trying harder. That's not a thing. So Omnipresence marketing system. Want to maximize your opportunities to generate a qualified inquiry. So how do you know you get who's your qualified ideal client? You should have only a couple of ideal client avatars, right? You might have a commercial ideal client avatar. You have a residential, maybe a couple different age ranges, maybe the 35 to 50 age range, still have children at home, from grade school kids up to college age. And then you might have the over 50 to 65 crowd, haven't retired yet, starting to sort of kind of lock in. They don't buy the cheap Walmart furniture anymore. They buy their stuff at high-end stores with real wood. They're, they want it for the rest of their lives. The legacy kind of stuff, that crowd, the better carpets, better area rugs, better upholstery, like things like that. They just kind of lock in a little bit tighter, a little bit more discretionary income and things like that as you grow, as you get older, and also children out of the house. Children cost a lot of money, things like that. So you've got that crowd, and you might have an over 65 crowd that is a slightly different avatar, and you want to be able to speak to them. But where do they hang out? How do you maximize your opportunity in front of them? One of the ways you do that is by maximizing your brand impressions to those crowds as well. They need to know you. Oh, I need a carpet cleaner. Oh, I've heard of this guy. And, or if in our world now, AI suggests, they ask, hey, who is the best carpet cleaner around, and what methods are the best? That should be coming from your website. That should be coming from AI. Should be your SEO provider, your digital marketing provider should be teaching that. But also AI does a whole bunch of other searches we're going to talk about. It's not just going out to Google on your behalf and to create that Gemini, or that when ChatGPT gives an answer. There is a lot of info. We spent the last year overhauling the back end, the coding, all of our clients' websites, because AI, SEO, or SEO, search everywhere optimization, whatever, like nobody's settled on a term yet of what we call it, but AI is embedded in everything that we do in our lives and is out finding our service providers. And if you're top of mind, then it might find 2 or 3 options. Oh, I've heard of these guys. Let me call them. I've heard their story. I've seen them around. Well, where have they seen you? Hopefully on Facebook in ads, but ads that don't look like ads. Hopefully they've telling happy customer stories and things like that. Hopefully they've seen your vans in the neighborhood, your door hangers. They've been referred to you by one of their friends or one of their referral sources and things like that. So there's a lot of ways around this, but you want your brand impressions to already be ahead of you. It used to say that you need 5 to 7 impressions before somebody even can remember you, trust you. That Google came up with a study about a decade ago called ZMOT, Zero Moment of Truth. I talk about it all the time. Used to say that you needed 11 interactions or impressions of a brand before you'd grab the box of cereal off the shelf or call the carpet cleaning company. It was 11 touches is what Google had proven, that before somebody even feels comfortable to do that. They're now saying that ZMOT, that zero moment of truth, is over 20 interactions. And the average person actually goes back to the first place they learned about the brand to then enter in and ask their questions. So you want brand impressions. You also want to maximize your conversions, and that's what we're going to talk about today as well. So reputation, and not just reviews, but reputation hits on all of these 3 profit magnifying, maximizing principles, omnipresence marketing principles, right? So you want to have an integrative marketing approach, that creates your omnipresence marketing. Integrative omnipresence marketing is the word of the day if we are on Sesame Street. So you may be wondering, what's all the fuss about with online reputation and reviews? Oh, maybe you're wondering that. Well, here's the fuss. The fact, your online reputation can make or break your company. We know that. If you hey, we're amazing all over your website, and everywhere else they go is like, these guys aren't that amazing, right? Or it's crickets. They can't find anything about you. What do you think of if you're looking to buy something on Amazon, you're looking to hire somebody, and nobody else is talking about them anywhere? You can't find any information. You might even go to Facebook, into some sort of a Facebook group, a marketplace, and say, has anybody heard of these guys? Right? No, I never heard of them. That's telling, right? So again, your reputation and lack thereof can make or break your company. So part of it is what's doing that. So does your online reputation reflect the top quality service that you provide? We all think we provide the very best service to our customers at all times, everywhere. We answer the phones the best way. We follow up with emails the best way. We follow up with text messages the best way. We arrive the best way. We prepare the employee or the customer the best way. We do the best jobs. We smile sweetly. We leave. We do the best follow-ups potentially. We kind of think we do that. Does your online reputation reflect that? Is there somebody talking about every one of those things? Is your reputation, preceding you in a positive light? right? You need to know that. So you want to look out and look and see if that's the case. Have you invested in all the best tools, but you're still not getting consistent reviews? We'll talk about what a consistent review flow should be, and what else you should be thinking of outside of that. So, it's not about tools, right? Anybody can send a text link to a customer and cherry pick their customers and say, oh, this one looks like they're going to be happy. I'm going to send them the link to Google. Oh, this one's not. That's not what we're talking about here today. That is nowhere near enough, right? That is barely scratching the surface. So a poor online reputation will drag down all of your marketing. Even an invisible online reputation. A poor online reputation doesn't just mean bad. Doesn't mean like a 3.5 star rating. Poor online reputation means you're not even visible. It means that there's negative things out there. It means that you're not answering, you're not monitoring and answering and thanking and all of those kinds of things. You're not syndicating. We'll talk about that. You just have a poor footprint online. You're going to waste conversion opportunities, and you're going to drive customers to your competition. What if somebody heard about you or saw your van or saw your yard sign? Maybe I should get my carpets clean. Let me go, oh, but not those guys here. Let me call this other AAA company. Right? Your marketing, your yard signs, door hangers, outreach, even your awareness ads, you run, again, Facebook ads, things like that, anything that gets in front of somebody when they weren't actively searching you. Push versus pull marketing. So Facebook, door hangers, yard signs, every door mails, things like that. All of those are putting you in front of somebody who may or may not be interested right now. You just want to get them aware of you and into your world. When they're ready, the people that don't have a name in mind, then they go search. If they have a name in mind, they just look you up. If they don't have a name in mind, then they have to go search. And then that's where, Google, they might go to Google, they might go to Yahoo, they might go to Bing, they might go to Yelp, they might go to Facebook, there's a whole bunch of different places they can go, Better Business Bureau, Chamber of Commerce, all of those kinds of things. But if they find inconsistent, bad information about you, you've actually your marketing made them aware of, hey, I should get my carpets clean. Oh, but not by the company that just spent all that money trying to attract me, right? So you want to make sure you understand that. The opportunity then lies in AI-driven visibility. Be the provider of choice in your area to stay ahead of your competition. It's all part of that building you as the best known cleaner. That your goal is to be the best known, as Grant Cardone said, and he adapted it from other people, but it's better to be the best known than the best. You've got to be competent, but the very best might be a 70-year-old carpet cleaner that's been doing this for 50 years and has an amazing job and wants to do one job a day. He might be the best in town, but he might be known by his handful of 200 customers, right? Doing a great job, but being known by 20,000 past customers over the last 5 years, different business, two different businesses, right? So think of it that way. You want to leverage systems and psychology. All marketing is math plus psychology. It's all marketing is. So you want to leverage systems and psychology to drive consistent, high quality feedback. And you'll notice I mentioned it a couple of times, but it's the first time on the presentation, the slides, I have added in the term feedback because we're going to really anchor on this. I'm going to make a case for you and prove why feedback is far more important than reviews. Done properly, done the right way. Have your online reputation speak for itself and drive higher conversions. Not only higher conversions, from higher quality customers. So if you want to be the highest priced and booked out weeks in advance, that is a different class of consumer. Interestingly enough, that class of consumer is the one with discretionary income that isn't worried about their truck payments, their mortgage payments, the cost of living that's gone up and inflation. Yeah, they're worried a little bit, but their investments have also grown and are at all-time highs. They feel wealthier and they're still spending. When the middle class and the lower middle class are, bothered by the price of how much McDonald's has gotten, how expensive a McDonald's meal has gotten. And in fact, McDonald's just announced, I think in States, if not Canada, that they're going to be dropping the price of their average meal because they're losing foot traffic, they're losing revenue, so they're tightening things up a little bit as well. So yeah, we all know the cost of living. Well, the grand experiment happening right now, throughout the U.S., that isn't happening in Canada and other countries. But the grand experiment right now of onshoring everything again and building the working class and building the middle class again is to solve this problem, because the prospects at the way things have been is that the middle class is eroding to gone, and the only people that have money left are the upper middle class and the upper class, and that is your ideal customer. And those are the ones that will pay $500,000, $600,000, $800,000, $2,000 an average residential job. We've got clients where their average residential is over $800, where their competitors are still 3 rooms in a hall for $99. If your average job is not north of $400 right now, there's a lot of systems we could train you to get you there, right? So $300 to $400 is sort of where your average job, front screen of Service Monster or House Call Pros, whatever tool you're using, see what your average residential job has been over the last 30 days and the last 90 days and the last 6 months and the last year. And it should be well north of $300, $400, $500 is a good range. That means that you're tapping into the right clientele that to them, that's not even a concern. You should be doing $1,000 to $1,500 jobs a couple times a week per truck, because there are customers there that need their sectional clean, their tile clean, and their carpets. You don't need to give them a discount if they're doing all of that stuff, right? You may be like, if you've got a package where you give them a bit of a package rate, or throw in a free armchair if they add this and this, that's fine. Like, add more on, but you don't need to teach them how to pay you less, because they actually are the right crowd that has the money, and they'll actually even give you a tip on top of that. Hey, here's $100, split it amongst your techs. Thanks. Right? They're not price conscious, they're quality conscious. How did they find you in the first place? They did research. They didn't just find knee-jerk reaction. If they are the knee-jerk crowd, the chances of them coming back are harder and harder and harder, because they didn't do enough due diligence and research to try and find their people for the rest of their cleaning lives. That's what I want to find a mechanic and never think about it again. Hopefully he doesn't screw up. I want to find a maid service and never think about it again. I want to find, we find our people and we lock in. Well, we do good due diligence. We ask around, we try, and then we lock in. The interesting point is, we all think that we're the best in our industry. We definitely want reviews and reputations that state that. But we talk about having multiple poles in the water, make sure that you show up in front of all these people with the right messaging and the right reputation and the better website and the better content and the better follow-up process, and you drip on them and you tell them your family story and your business story and all that kind of stuff, and happy customer stories, and you do all that. And we'll talk a bit about that today, because if one of these very best potential customers, calls the competition and they're competent, you will never hear from them for the rest of your life. And the best customers spend 10, 20, George told me one of his clients, $200,000 residentially over the lifetime that they've been cleaning for them so far. But 10 to 20,000 is sort of that range in your brain, where over the next 5-7 years, repeating, because you market to them well, and referrals, once they lock in, it's a $10,000 to $20,000 lifetime transaction. So if you landed 5 new customers this week, that's not $2,500 at $500 each. That 5 new customers is $100,000 to the lifetime value of your business, building the asset. And if they went to the competition because you don't do any of this stuff, you should never have a chance to win them back, because the competition should be competent enough to keep them. Market them regularly, pick up the phone, call them every 3 months, just check in with them, do good marketing to run a real business, and you'll never have a chance with them. So every single day, you're actually losing potential customers for the rest of your life. And that's the importance of what we're going to talk about here today. So success is being seen as the #1 carpet cleaning authority in your area, rank everywhere, and maximize your conversions. That's what success looks like. So why do reviews and online reputation matter so much? I think we kind of proved it. Some of the areas where reviews are really important, as we know, and reputation. So let's just stick with reviews for a minute. We're gonna start on the review side before we kind of get into how you build reputation out of that and use feedback in the mix. Is Google Maps. So one of the ranking criteria, not the only one of the reasons why you can rank 5, 10, 15 miles around your known pin drop where they sent the postcard, where they know the office is. You're not going to rank in your whole service area just because you mapped it out. Google's going, yeah, that's nice, but there's 50, 80 of you here, and I can't show you everywhere, because what about the other guy? Why are you so special? So you've got to prove why you're special, at least in a radius sort of way. So Google Maps, reviews are one of the ranking factors. So are all of the citations and third party. So AI, SEO, you want to make sure that you have all the right schema and FAQs and authority authorship and entity SEO and all that kind of stuff, all the stuff that we've just revamped all of our clients' websites in the background on coding and added pieces and stuff like that to really teach the LLMs and to teach all that. But all of that also, Google uses that in their AI and algorithms to determine who should show up where based on whoever's searching, the neighbor next door, somebody 3 blocks away, somebody, 10 miles away, who should show up in what order in Google Maps. Well, the reviews that you have, along with answering those reviews, every single one of them, good, bad, and ugly, and the words that are being spoken in those reviews, all of it has an impact on how you rank in Google Maps. So does posting to your Google Maps. You can go back to one of our master classes that we did one of these whole conversations on all of the other things that are required, but reviews are an important one for ranking. They're a major factor in conversions. We know that 84% of people trust an online review as much as a personal recommendation from a friend, but 77% of consumers think that reviews more than 2 to 3 months old aren't relevant. Yeah, that's good. I don't care what you did 3 months ago. What did you do last week? What are you doing now? How is your business now? We've kind of been accustomed to what's new is important. I run a podcast every single Friday, the AI Marketing Experts podcast, on a panel with 4 other really, really smart marketers as well. And we always talk about that is that, what happened last month in AI is old news already. 3 months ago, I don't even want to read that article, right? It's changing so fast. Well, in the world of reputation, consumers have that mindset around, I don't care that you have 557 reviews and the last one was 6 months ago. You don't qualify anymore. Even if your competitor has 232 reviews, yeah, your big number might look impressive to the people that go, "Ooh, I like big numbers." But the people that actually pause to read a little bit go, "Wait a minute. The most recent one was 2 months ago. This guy has 4 from last week alone." They win. If you've got a 4.8 star rating, they got a 4.7, 4.8, 4 point whatever. And it's not about the count. This isn't a volume game. Once you get beyond, once you get a reasonable number of reviews based on your competitors, it's not a volume game. It's a consistency and quality game. So why reviews are important. Here's an example. As we said, it helps in ranking, but it also looks great and it as a conversion as well. So one of our clients, 183 reviews at the time that this was taken, and on Google Maps, and it also helps with more phone calls. 183 phone calls. In that period of time. I think it was a 1 month period, 2 month period, probably 1 month. Actually, looking at the investment, that was their paid ad investment plus any sort of marketing spend with us and stuff like that. 421 across all platforms. Most of them came from the ranking of their website. 183 came from the Google Maps ranking as well, and then paid ads and but ranked number 1. Now the client ranked number 1, right? Part of that happens with reviews. So AI enhanced outreach across platforms. So where we're talking sort of that embedding of our modern AI is, can we use AI and automations, a bit of both, to have consistent follow-ups? Remind for reviews, text, email, social. Can we use AI to help write those, to talk about the subject that they got done, personalize the engagement, add their names, and things like that. AI never forgets or misses an opportunity to ask for reviews, so it can be done. We obviously don't want to bug people at 2 a.m. if they're the type that get up at 5 or 6 and wrap their day up by 9 o'clock at night. So, but I mean, AI can be involved in the mix there as well. Fast response times, AI and automations help all of that, and cross-platform visibility. Reputation grows simultaneously on all platforms. We'll talk about this because that's the enhancement of it. How can you take something that is sitting static on Google, that is only seen by people that make it to Google, or sitting static on the Better Business Bureau, only seen by the the people that make it there. Like, it's not, everybody doesn't just go everywhere, right? How can you take the static links and static comments and share them, called syndicating, syndicate them everywhere they could possibly look, right? You're allowed to do that. You can take them off one platform and share them everywhere, so that even if they just went to Facebook, or they went to Instagram, or they went to your website, or they went, no matter where they go, on your landing pages for pay-per-click, you've got cross-platform visibility. And that can be done with AI and automations and tools and things like that as well, so that you're actually marketing well. And we'll talk a lot about that in a minute. So reviews, they impact your Google rankings for sure. 96% of consumers say they look for reviews online. Doesn't mean they look on Google, but they look for reviews for making a buying decision, right? Online. And they are the major conversion factor. If you can tell, if other people can sing your praises in a authentic, legitimate way, not cherry picked, then you rise above the competition, or at the very least keep up in that, okay, who do I choose? Who do I choose? Okay, well, these two or three, I'm now down to only two. Okay, between these two, who do I choose? And you tell a better story, and now you get the phone call, you get the choice. Or they make a phone call, they reach out, they start a text, and how well you answer, how well you respond. We talked about that on a previous call. Answer the phone within 2 rings, respond to any text messages or SMS within 2 to 5 minutes at the most, but 2 minutes better during business hours. And speed to lead, chances of you, if you have a good conversation and you tell the right story, have a good scripting, the fact that you will book those because they don't need to call anybody else, right? So you can reviews get you on that list, reputation gets you on that list, and then you get the outreach to be, and you've already got somebody in a positive frame of mind. So some takeaways. Why is managing your online reviews so critical? What would consistent positive reviews do for the credibility of your marketing? And again, not just on Google, on Facebook, on Yelp, on Nextdoor, on Better Business Bureau, Chamber of Commerce, HomeStars, House Call, or HomeStar. Trying to think of some of the other platforms that people go to, but on any platform that gets Angie's List, Judy's book, which is now just called Angie's, right? Anyways, any of those platforms that people use, you want to make sure that you have gotten people to sing your praises, but also share Google reviews over on those. And I'll show you what that can look like. But you want to be able to make sure that anytime anybody is questioning you, maybe for example, people say on Facebook, I need more likes and followers and engagement on my Facebook posts. Well, you understand Facebook does not show your post to anybody. If you're a business, you have to pay, period. They've already said that. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 people that like and follow your page will get to see your post. Facebook does not spend any time providing edge ranking, as they call it, to businesses. So, well, what's the value? Why should I be there then? Well, because that's where your ideal customer is, and you can tell your stories and share them into the groups that they're in. You can run ads in front of them and they go, oh, who is that? And they click the name of the business. They end up on your Facebook page. They scroll up and down. Now you're influencing them. Now you're adding that psychology. Now you're talking about things they're interested, pets. You're talking about children. You're talking about healthy homes. You're talking about, things happening in the local community. You're sharing a few fun stories. You're not just showing before and after picture, before and after picture, before and after. No, I just want to learn about this company. I didn't just come here to buy a carpet cleaning. I don't need to see all this before and after. I'm done. I want to learn a little bit more about who these people are, about their personality. I want to learn about what other people think of them. Well, that's where you can now start sharing. You can get people to write recommendations on Facebook, but you can also share from Google and other places and feedback on your feed. So they don't have to scroll down once or twice, because most people don't scroll more than 2 or 3 times. They scroll down and they get influenced that you are speaking their language. You're showing them what they need to see. You're talking about the things they're interested in, and it all ties together. So it creates positive consistency or positive impressions in their brain, which causes conversions. They start to trust you before they know you. So the 4 keys to managing and building your online reputation. There are 4 primary keys to this. 1, reviews still matter, but they are just the starting point in today's AI-driven landscape. What I mean by that is AI, when it goes out to try and be your assistant, hey, I'm wondering who the best carpet cleaning company is, and what's the best method for cleaning. Right? First thing it's going to do is go out and try and answer that question. best method and stuff like that. So we write articles and posts and add things to clients' websites over time so that SEO and AI can pick up our client's website as the answer. So that's the first part. Now it's going, okay, I've got some answers. And oh, by the way, this, ABC carpet cleaning has provided a couple of these answers. That's interesting. And then the AI is doing a trust search, a quality search. So now it's actually going out and looking at trust signals because it's trying to be a human. It's trying just to search and find to give you an answer. So it's going to go search and find anywhere it can. It's not just sticking to Google. It's looking around. So it's checking social. It is checking other, like, while reviews matter, it's only one little piece of the pie because more and more people are actually using things like ChatGPT and using AI voice search to find answers as opposed to doing the research themselves. So you want to be influencing AI. And one of the ways you do that is with reviews, reputation marketing, and happy customer stories. Amplifying your presence and makes your brand more visible where potential customers are searching. So if you take, again, reviews, and then you do the syndication we're talking about, you start amplifying your presence. You start showing up in front of people even when they're not thinking about you or your industry. If you do the right audience, you want to just start dripping on them, right? You want to show up in front of them. Why do you think businesses, sponsor little league teams and have their logo on the back of the shirts and on the bleachers and the billboards and stuff around the little league ball diamond or the soccer team or whatever, and things like that as well, right? You have a percentage of revenue goes towards marketing. As your business grows, that dollar amount grows. You have more room to do the next level. A certain percentage of your marketing budget, 10 to 15%, should be brand building your brand. The other 85 to 90% should be the direct into the marketplace marketing. So part of this is your reviews, your reputation, your sentiment should be where the people are looking. So do you know where people are looking when they're online to not just, hey, where did you find us? Online. Where was that? Google, right? Is that the only place you looked? We don't ask those types of questions, but hey, thanks so much. What research have you done on us so far? Thanks for calling us. Really appreciate it. I'm here to help you. What are you looking to get done? Great. And what research have you done on us so far? You'll get a much better answer of how deep the research went, whether they did anything at all, or they saw an ad, or they actually checked this out and checked that. I saw your van, then I went to your website, then I did that, right? What research? I know you guys do this and I've heard about that. I'm not really sure about this, right? Every one of those stopping points that they went to should also be loaded with other customers' comments. Leverage customer voice to build authority and long-term trust. So we always question if we made the right decision. The more we have other people who made that same decision, now we have social proof. And if we keep reminding, so even our very best customers will see, done well, our happy customer stories. We'll see our reputation, because they're not going back to Google. They should never go back to Google to find your phone number, right? They shouldn't type in, carpet cleaning, or the name. I think the business name is this. That should be the fridge magnet and the sticker on the inside of their cabinet door, and the spotting kit that you gave them with the free bottle of spotter with your name on it. Like, you should be doing everything you possibly can. Any swag that you can hand out, that they never, ever, ever have to go find you anywhere else. We used to say that in the days of Yellow Pages. Your customers should never be looking in the Yellow Pages for your phone number. Potential customers should. Your customers should never go there, because that's where your competition is as well, just like the internet, right? But in the internet, there's social media. Can you get in front of them because they're in your ideal audience? Should you actually be building audiences of leads, of people that have gone to your website, of people that have become customers, and just staying in front of them as part of your marketing message, because you're going to get them back again. It's another drip, just like having a weekly or monthly email, having a quarterly phone call, having monthly newsletters that show up in their doorstep, all the different ways to stay in touch with your database so they come back more often and give you that $10,000, $20,000 over their lifetime. The other thing is, you should also be staying in front of them with happy customer stories and happy customer reviews, because it makes them go, those are my guys. Now they'll tell more people as well. You get more referrals and more repeats because you're staying top of mind. Reliability and consistency keep your business top of mind and future-proof. That's what we just talked about. So takeaways. Which of those can and should you work on? So which of those 4 steps are we talking about there where, again, taking reviews, sharing them out, doing all of that kind of stuff that we talked about, having happy customer stories, all of that, should you be working on so that anybody who might be lurking, thinking about you, you don't know who they are. They're doing it on their own time. Are they finding the right things about you on your website? We'll show you on our clients' websites. We have a little thing called review pops. One of the things, part of Recognition, that shows up on the tool we have that just creates social proof. If they click on it, they actually end up at the real person's review on Google, on Yelp, on Facebook, wherever it is. It's real. It's social. It's not your fake sort of, here's the same 3 happy customers on the homepage of your website that was there every time they've shown up and they're definitely cherry picked. No, these are actually streaming done properly, right? So things like that. So there are lots of tools to solicit reviews. Lots of tools. That's how many there are, 6, 7, 8 on them on the page. And there's probably dozens and dozens more. But you really need to take it much further than hounding for Google reviews. And you got to start trust engineering, term I came up with, which is a strategic and systematic plan to be seen as the expert and the market leader in your local industry. You need to engineer the trust, not just wait and hope. We're not doing hope and pray marketing. We're doing strategic marketing. You want to build your unique sales proposition, your compelling sales proposition, as we call it. Why you over everybody else? You want to have a risk reversal guarantee that makes them go, holy crap, I can't not choose these people. You want to have a mafia offer, a great entry offer that allows people to make an obvious decision to choose you. You want to have your founder story and your impactful brand messaging, right? You want to be able to also engineer the trust, right? So you want to be planning and deliberately engineering trust, not just gathering reviews on Google for review's sake. So your authority plus your 5-star reputation equals customers' trust. Do they believe that you know what you're doing, that you run a great company, that you have the authority in your niche and in your space to solve their problem long term? And you have the reputation that backs that up. So one of the little claim to fame I had, so how did I go in 1995 as a shy kid moving to a town of 30,000 people? I didn't know any of them because I didn't want to walk into any stores or homes of people I went to school with. I was that shy. And how did I generate a $10,000 a month business before the end of spring 1996? Within the first year, started in May of 1995, and by May of 1996, I had a $10,000 a year business, town of 30,000 people, and grew from there. The $1 million carpet cleaning company or cleaning company that I had. Well, part of that I did was the phone didn't ring for the first couple of months. I had tapped anybody I'd known and that kind of thing, and I got an article written about my business in the local newspaper. The newspaper guy came and said, hey, you're a new business, you should advertise. And I said, thanks, Kevin. Remember the guy's name? His name was Kevin 30 years ago. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, I don't mind advertising in the newspaper. I've got an advertising budget set aside to help grow the business. I've spent my first couple of months cleaning friends, family, anybody I could know, anybody I knew. The only person I knew in town was my sister and my brother-in-law, and they put me in touch with neighbors and everybody else to do the cleaning, right? So I again, 1995, well before the days of internet and reviews and stuff like that. There's no yellow pages out yet. It didn't come out till the following spring. So I was literally dead in the water in a new town. And this article came out and I started getting some phone calls. It was an article written by the newspaper about this new business, this safe, healthy cleaning process that he had. And I went, oh, that's so cool. So I went back to Kevin. I said, so Kevin, you wrote that article about me in exchange for me becoming an advertiser and guaranteeing, offering to give, have an ad budget. I don't want to run an ad. We do carpet cleaning, 3 rooms for whatever, or anything like that. I had no interest in that. I'd like to run an ad. I'd learned a little bit, started learning marketing. That looks like an advertorial. That looks like an ad, but it looks like an editorial, but it's an ad. So they call them an advertorial. They have to put a little box around it. They have to write advertorial, but it's small. And the whole thing looks like somebody else wrote it. I wrote it, but it's a picture of why I started the business, right? And why we're different and why I want to, all that. No deal, no offer. I had people cutting it out and putting it on their fridge and calling me months and months later. We went from zero to almost $5,000 a month just with that strategy alone in a town of 30,000 people with an incumbent carpet cleaner who was the son of the original owner, who was also a local hockey hero. And that was the other company I was up against. Everybody knew them. Nobody knew me, right? So I built my authority by making it look like other people were speaking about me. In that ad spot that I had, I created an Ask the Expert column, and any other magazines that came around, or weekly marketplace magazines or neighborhood marketing magazines. I didn't want to run ads about the company. I wanted to run an Ask the Expert column. Even if they didn't have one, I made one out of my ad spot. It was an Ask the Expert column. I built my authority. I had a great reputation as that started to show up in the marketplace more and more, and I built trust. That's what we're talking about here. So no trust equals no sales. Your job as the owner is to build trust to get more sales. You need to accelerate the speed of trust. This can take years, or you can do like I did and accelerate it. And there's ways to do that online now. So not saying that any of those other strategies, if there's a newsletter into a high-end community, a retirement community, a golf course community, and they have a newsletter and they say, hey, would you like to be a sponsor of the newsletter for $100 or $200 a month? One job should be worth $1,200. That's an easy yes, right? But you don't run an ad for your company with your logo and your business. Just give me a business card. I'll put a business card in for you. Nope. I am going to create an Ask the Expert column, and you're going to write on that, and you're going to find out, hey, I will advertise in it, but out of that, can I get maybe once every 3 months a half-page article or a full page? Like, can you throw that in? I'll be an advertiser if you can give me a few perks. That's what I used to do with everybody after I realized that strategy. And I'd be, yeah, you can write every month if you want. Holy crap, that's sweet, right? Other times, yeah, we'll give you 2 of those in a year. Okay. And again, how did I know to invest in that? Because I had 20% of revenue went to marketing, and I knew my split online versus offline. And it's just a formula. It's just a formula. How much goes to your database marketing, how much goes to your outreach, how much goes to whatever. And I had room in the budget, and it was sitting there. It was on a spreadsheet. I knew I could spend up to that amount on things like this, which were part of my brand awareness. Some of them generated direct phone calls, but more often than not, anything that supports something else would be considered brand awareness, right? So the 3 rules of engineering trust, fast in our new AI-powered recommendation age. Rule number 1, have a system to request feedback from every client, and how AI can make it smarter and more automatic. Don't ask for reviews anymore. From this day forward, get feedback first. Have them fill out a survey, answer questions about how it has been to engage with your brand this time or again over time. Get them to tell you stuff. Done well, you should get 50 to 70% of your clients filling out feedback if you ask the right way. And there's sort of a good, better, best at everything. And you can get up to 70% of your people filling out feedback if at the very best, you normally do a next day follow-up call from your office, which you should. Just skip one day. Give them a day to fill out the survey. You ask, you state it the right way. You leave it, you make it an online survey. They fill it out. You can have a contest where every single month people are being entered into there's a prize at the end of every month just for filling out your feedback, and you announce the winner on your social media. You do all that kind of stuff. Now that gives you a reason to even call them, and a second time you call them 2 days later. Hey, thanks so much. I'm just following up on the work you had. The technician you would have received a feedback survey from. I know you haven't had a chance to fill that out yet. If you've got a few moments, I'd like to ask you those questions right now, and you fill it out in front of them. Done properly, you should be asking feedback first, and then let reviews happen second. I'll show you how that looks. Because the benefits of feedback, this isn't me, this is the Aberdeen Research Council. I usually pay a research group. I usually pay about the $450 every year to get their benchmark study on the voice of the consumer or service businesses. And what they have noted for the last at least 10 years, I've had this, 15 years, I've been getting this. This is hundreds of thousands of service businesses being polled and checked across the voice of consumer, that when you ask your customers for feedback, it changes their psychology. It changes their brain, right? You end up with 55% greater customer retention just by asking them for their opinion privately, not the review publicly, their opinion on a couple of things privately. You have a 23% decrease in customer service costs. People that give you their opinion will also tell you if they're not happy, what they want you to do to solve it. And it's usually a lot less than you thought of to solve it. And you also got them they don't get to that ramped up, pissed off stage because they got the survey, I'm not really happy about this. Hey, I'm so sorry you're not happy. Let's get the technician right back there right away. And then you have your recipe for recovery that we call it. That's what we coach on in our blueprint coaching, recipe for recovery, that when you show up within one business day at all costs, if you can, you show up with a gift. I am really sorry I had to come back and solve this. One dribble left on a step. Don't care what it is. Or they weren't happy with the entire living room. They you're coming back, you're going to re-clean it. You're going to have that risk reversal guarantee and you have that recipe for recovery, but you know what you're going to do and you have a system around it. And you find that asking for their feedback and keeping that contained, you end up with less year-over-year customer service costs, but a 292% greater employee engagement because you share with the employees all these happy comments. When's the last time they heard about that? It's not just reviews. Only about 10% of your customers. If I go and look and say that you've got 100 reviews, I'm going to guess that you've probably had about 1,000 or more customers, unless you don't ask at all. If you ask on a regular basis, right? It's very rare. The odd person, the odd business owner can sweet talk almost everybody into writing a review and stand in front of them. And you got a Google account? Can you write me a review? Come on, not really going to help my business. As soon as you have employees, that's not going to happen. And over time, that wears on you and wears on them. So, right, that's called hounding. Done well, 50 to 70% of your clientele is leaving feedback, and you share that feedback with your employees. Now they're, holy crap, that's great, right? You give them wows. You have weekly wows or monthly wows. The employee that gets their name mentioned the most in feedback gets, the $20 Amazon gift card or whatever you have around the company. Now you've got employee engagement, 14.5% greater increase in customer satisfaction. People just feel happier when you ask them for their opinion, not a review. They just feel happier. And it turns out an 28.3% increase in annual company revenue simply by adding a feedback engine in, done well, has been shown across all service industries to increase the revenue of the company by about as much as 30%. Because those people that write feedback refer more. You've just invested. They've not only got over buyer's remorse, they're on the other side of the fence and they start becoming cheerleaders. There you go. A cheerleader. You create a list of cheerleaders. So what does that mean? Well, the people that write great comments about you are also the best ones to market your very best offers to. They are the ones to try new services on, to pick up the phone and chat to, because they went out of their way. They feel they're having a two-way conversation with you, even though this was all automated, right? They ask for and get more referrals. So you can actually ask them, hey, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Anybody else that we can provide services to? We actually have a referral reward program, but we can also give them a reward as well, just for knowing you. Oh my God, I know a whole bunch of people, my bridge club, my whatever, anyways, you get input from and test new products. I mentioned that already. And they actually love you more. The act of actually having to tell you what they liked, didn't like, had input, stuff like that. You end up with a cheerleader list, and you've now found that 80-20 rule. You found that top 20% of your database, usually way more than that. But the ones that, if you get 50% of your clientele filling out feedback surveys, you're going to find the 20% that are your very, very best customers, that are the ones that you can lean into even more. Right? That way you immediately hear and can respond to any negative feedback as well. You have the opportunity to recover them, save that relationship, avoid them going online and flaming you. People that are happy do not write positive comments very often at all. People that are unhappy write them everywhere. Copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And next thing you know, you're flamed even on platforms you didn't even know you had a listing on, or maybe you didn't even have a listing. Somebody should be monitoring that, because AI knows that. AI has picked all that up. So reputation monitoring, which was, I don't need to worry about that. Nobody goes to those sites anyways, which I used to hear for since 2010, 15 years, doesn't exist anymore. AI doesn't know that. It goes everywhere. If there is negative comments, well, pretty good businesses. This one seems to have a lot of negative comments sitting over on Nextdoor, sitting over on whatever, somewhere that you don't monitor. So monitoring your reputation across dozens of platforms every single day and getting alerts is actually really important to save your AI side of your reputation as well. So again, one of the things we do with our clients is we monitor all of those. And if we do come across something, we let them know right away. So that all of that is way better than just hounding for, oh, please, sir, can I have a review? Right? They know that they're doing that for you, not for them. Feedback is internal and it's for them. You also want to make sure that the feedback survey that they're filling out has a button that says it goes directly to the desk of the manager, because most people say that the reason 80 some odd % of the people that said that they complained online, they did so because they did not believe the staff would tell the management about the problem. So they just wanted to make it public everywhere they possibly could so that they got heard. If they get a survey within an hour of the cleaning, right, all the technician says, hey, the office is going to follow up on the work that we have performed today. Just want to make sure when you get that, mention my name. I get some brownie points back at the office. Hopefully you loved everything and everything was done happy to your satisfaction. There are some people that will not tell the technician standing right in front of them that they're not happy with something, that will fill out a survey an hour later explaining what they didn't like about the job was great. The technician smelled funny. How are you going to say that to George standing in front of you? But you could say that to the owner about George. Right? So a review is not going to get to that point. Right? So benefits of feedback is, and as a byproduct, done properly, you will actually get more online reviews. A good, better, best scenario, you should get at least as many as you're getting right now with whatever system you're running, if you put feedback in front of it, because there's a way to do that. But you should actually end up with more, because on a good, better, best scenario, once they've given you feedback, call them and thank them for it. And then you can turn the corner and say, oh, by the way, really appreciate that. I noticed you were happy. You know what really would help us? You don't have to, but what would really, other people that are looking to find a quality carpet cleaning company will go on sites like Google, Facebook, Yelp, places like that to see who's good, read some reviews, that kind of stuff. If I could pop you a quick email, when they filled out the feedback, they should be getting one. But if I can pop you a couple of those links, I'd really appreciate if you would write that for us. You can't give them an incentive to write it. If anybody finds out that you gave them an incentive to write a review or a positive review or anything like that, most of the platforms have it in their terms of service that they'll kick you out for life. They might not. They might. That's a bad day if they do. Best to stay, squeaky clean. So you give them an incentive to write the feedback, and then you ask for the review politely, right? And that's how you end up getting more reviews. So a campaign looks like this. We just talked about it, but you add a customer to a AI and automation powered system. It triggers text messages, emails, a series that if they open any one of them, it stops the rest of the series. But so very smart automation, trying to get in front of them. Some people don't read their emails. Some people will read their emails only on the weekends and go, oh my gosh, you sent me 3 emails. That happens. That's not again, that's the rare few, but that can happen. That's okay. If you're pushing your marketing correctly, 10 to 15% of the people that you market to should tell you too much, not interested. That means 90% were fine with it. That's good. If you start getting 20, 30% pushing back, you might want to adjust a few things. If you've got you've sent out 1,000 feedback requests and one person goes, I got 3 emails, you're spamming me. Oh, we should stop this. No, the other 999 were actually in the loop and got the benefit of it, and your business will grow because of that. You don't run your business based on 1 or 2 cranky people. You're always going to have cranky people. And then you get them to fill out a survey, right? And it should, they've done well. It should have some psychological influence, like other people's answers or feedback in the side that gives them some ideas of what to write, things like that. But you want to get them to fill out a survey. That survey should have some very specific questions on it, including what to sell them next kind of questions as well. And then if they're happy people, they should be invited now to leave online right at the end of the survey, but also with a little bit of follow-up if they didn't. If it's negative, it should go right to your desk and they should get a message right away. Oh, I'm so sorry. We'll solve this. We'll get this figured out for you. Let the team take a look at this. And somebody will get back to you within, in the next within 1 business day. All right. That's now you've prevented them from going online and flaming you. They don't even get those links. They can always go look them up themselves, but more often than not, you've put a pause in place as well. So a great campaign system should run like this, where they've got the option to give you reviews, but they're going to give you a survey, and it's a multi-touch, and AI and automation personalizes all that throughout that journey, and it stops the rest of the touches once we know that they've engaged. So rule number 2 is you need to be marketing your reputation as your local brand. People don't care about your whiz bang, PTO driven, butler system, blah, blah, blah. I care, you care. Whether, maybe you do encapsulation and you like it better. And why do you do that? On and on and on. Most people don't care about that until they're ready to use you, and they might just, is your system any good? Oh, we guarantee the best cleaning, or it's free. Okay, that sounds good, right? They don't know the ins and outs. The odd person might have heard that truck mount is better than this or that. That's fine. I never ran a truck mount system ever, but we were the number one in our marketplace and could talk our way around what, truck mount does this. Here's what we do differently. Our multi-step process and do this, and our CRBs and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Like our tools, we didn't even use the term CRB. We do this, we work it in. So anybody can use a truck mount, but if they're not doing all of these other steps, that's a meaningless piece of equipment. So here's what you want is clean carpets. Here's how we make that happen, right? One of the reasons is we're up in the cold north, and freezing cold and truck mounts were just a pain in the butt. So anyways, what you want to do is you want to make sure on your website, you have your reputation front and center. You want to have it on little influence pop-ups in the corner. You want to have it on every single page that's important, every single landing page for pay-per-clicks and things like that. You want to tell your story. You also want to have, again, part of your reputation is happy customer stories, not just reviews, but the full story. A lot of people miss that. You want to make sure that on your social media, you're syndicating all of these positive stories and happy customer sentiments. So anybody that ends up on any of your social media, your Google, your Facebook, anywhere, right? You want to, and it also you want AI to be able to find that. That's where AI is going to go to your website. AI is going to go to social media, right? You want to make sure that on any image sharing sites or anywhere that images can be, that you've got great looking images that tell that story as well. Right? Not just a sort of a placeholder, a bunch of text. I've seen a lot of those other tools we talk about where the image looks like crap. It makes your social media look like crap. No, you want to actually spend a little time, have a little time and effort and make it look great. Doesn't have to be the real person, but you want smiling faces or yourself or equipment showing off some of these. You want to have it diversified. So it's not just the same key on the keyboard on all the way down the page. That's why you don't want on your social media just before and after pictures. That's the kid hitting one key on the keyboard. That might be funny for the first 20 seconds. After that, it's starting to eat at your brain. After that, you've developed a permanent tick because that little kid in the corner is still hitting that same key. You don't want your marketing to be like that as well. You want to be able to have videos. It's really hard to get customers to leave video testimonials, ask for it in front of them. The odd time, if you're really good at asking and they're trying to be an influencer anyways, you might get away with it. But more often than not, that's a hard ask to get a customer to leave a video review and to get them consistently new ones over time. But what we do is we create review commercials. So we take the customer's your best testimonials. We're not using AI avatars yet. We're still using real humans, but we record on a green screen and we create commercials that go up on YouTube and on your social media and stuff like that, one a month. And we show you how to share that out into all your other audiences. So now you've got video content. It should be on your website. It should be on all over the place. Your best customer sentiments turned into videos as well. And anytime you're retargeting, so somebody comes to your website and leaves, don't tell them about deals and offers. They're actually trying to figure out if they can trust you. So tell them about trust first. It's psychology, math plus psychology. The math shows that if you chase people around with trust signals, they're more likely to come back than if you chase them around with price. If you start chasing them around with price and deals, then you better be the deal guy from that point forward and know how to repair your own trucks when they break down or go rusty, because you're a low price deal based cleaning service, not a high priced quality based reputation based cleaning service. There are people that want that. There are people that only want a deal. And if you understand the right crowds, you understand if you're building an asset in a legacy business or just a transaction business. A customer shows up once, a client comes back again and again. You have to attract the right clients. You have to market the right clients. You have to influence the right customers to become clients. Rule number 3, position yourself as the local authority in your category. So, podcasts. Prolific branding. The branding on the side of your van is not a magnet, by the way, on a white van. That is not branding. The full branding that tells the right story in the right colors, that makes that right feeling, that sends that quality, prolific branding. Everything you do, your door hangers, your yard signs, your social media, everything follows that brand guide, that brand style. Very, very important. Happy customer content. Are you telling full entire stories? I'll show you what this looks like of your happiest customers. Are you sharing? Are you syndicating out those positive sentiments, feedback, and reviews? But are you telling happy customer stories? Are you leveraging referral marketing? Like referral partners, we talk a lot about. Are you having your customers and people that are in front of your ideal customer, real estate agents, interior designers, flooring stores, and maid services are the core four, but there's dozens more. Like I have told the story many times, chiropractors, luxury auto dealers, and there's a whole bunch that I targeted after the core four when I realized how powerful, one-to-many marketing is. But even one-to-one marketing, have your own customers tell other people, share out on social media. All of a sudden, now you're positioning your authority, and you're positioning your authority with happy customer stories, which is building your reputation. Everybody's talking about these guys. Share your expertise locally. That's what we talked about. Ask the expert type things. Have that out. Your blog post every single week should be teaching your authority. And then what does a blog post do? Well, it helps rank your website, and it helps give content for AI to find to help rank you and stuff like that. But what do you do with that blog post? Well, it should be syndicated out everywhere. And then you should be sharing it as your voice into groups of people that can either refer you to many or use your services themselves. You're sharing your local expertise, right? So that could be the newsletter, in that print newsletter that goes to the retired or the golf course semi-retirement community, or empty nester community, things like that. You want to provide local expertise. Press releases are a really good way to do that as well, and podcasts. So there's ways around all of this to make yourself look like an authority, and that's you manufacturing it, that's you engineering it, not just hoping and praying that it happens. Right? You're the marketer of cleaning services. So what does this all look like? Almost every other platform on the planet does that. Oh, here, send this link, get a review. That's their whole reputation marketing strategy. What we're talking about here today, and what we do is, that's nice. There's the starting point. This is reputation marketing, including management, including listening to the signals and responding, including all of the steps to actually build an entire reputation system. That's what that is. This is what I started in 2010, Repignition, and with that Chamber of Commerce and all of that kind of stuff that I talked about earlier. Back in the day, still to this day, 15 years later, most platforms begin and end right there. To get a Google review, and only on one platform 9 times out of 10, whether it's hidden on their platform and maybe get it onto Google, or just stay hidden on theirs, or maybe just send the Google link and get Google. That's this. This is how you manufacture and engineer your reputation. So questions. Would you like to see what it all looks like? We're going to be wrapping up here soon. So let's see what this looks like when it's done well. Right? So marketing the reputation. There's an example. There's clients of ours. All the videos that go out every month on the YouTube, on the Facebook, happy customer stories being told by spokesmodels. You've got images like these all over in their brand colors, all over social media, on sites like Pinterest, but not just the images, but the actual text in the post as well, because there is actually a text element and an image element. Both of them play together, right? Captivating social images and posts. Also, in retargeting, as you're building your brand awareness, part of that 10 to 15% of your budget should be brand awareness. One of those things is, how do we get people to come to my Facebook page? How do we get more likes? How do we get more followers? You run ads. Well, you don't run ads about discount carpet cleaning, back to school specials. Nope. You run ads about happy customer stories. That's what you run ads about. You run ads about you and your wife, your husband, your team out at the park on a team building thing, or at Disney or whatever. People stop the scroll. Who are these guys? Hey, I'm George, the old guy in the photo. I just want to tell you why here's my wife and I out on a hike with the dog, and just like you, we live in the area, blah blah blah. Here's why we built our carpet cleaning company. Here's why we want to be your cleaners, your carpet cleaner. Go check around, see. You notice that we are the top recommended and top rated. Everybody's telling stories about us. Why? Because you engineered it. You're making sure that anywhere they look, everybody's telling stories about you, because you're taking those stories and sharing them everywhere as well. So one of the places is paid ads. So retargeting should be built on that. Your digital storefronts. So what that means is online, everywhere that people go, YouTube, they go to social media, they go to, you name it, Twitter and Facebook and all that. The first thing they see is a cover graphic. Is your cover graphic a picture of a truck or a guy, a wand on the carpet? Did you care? Is it just sort of meh? I don't need to think about much. I just want to go clean carpets. No, you're the marketer of cleaning services first and foremost. You need to think about that marketing moment. They get to that page before they scroll down. Are you influencing them with happy customer stories and your brand message? And, again, kids and dogs, better to have your own face in there. You standing there smiling sweetly beside your truck, whatever. Your staff, the team photo, whatever. And your guarantee, but put your reviews and your reputation everywhere they could possibly look. Again, this is what retargeting ads look like when people go to any other website and they've landed on your stuff first. They get chased around with all of this stuff. What we find is you end up with more clicks, more impressions, and more post-click conversions from offering or giving the 5-star reputation style ad than you ever do with any discount ad. That's why there's big X's through those. You get way more out of this. You also want to make sure on your website, again, here we got on the website, we've got the streaming reviews. They can click on any of those. There should be a whole page of them that just keeps getting stacked and stacked, all the sources they came from, including feedback. And then you've got, again, on every landing page, something where they can click on it, see more, they can click through, they can see the source, all of that. Happy customer stories. So telling the story of a customer. This is a full page. This is just the top of the page, but pet stain and carpet cleaning in Ventura, California. Thanks, Robert. And you should be telling stories as often as you possibly can about happy customers. And then if they gave you feedback or review, put that in the story as well, and then share it out on social media. This is that story shared out on social media. You should be putting one or two of those a month, if not one or two of those a week, out into the marketplace, because you're building your reputation on happy customers telling the story, giving AI a whole bunch of stuff to eat on as well. But you're also sharing those into Facebook groups. You're also sharing those into LinkedIn groups, business owner groups. All of a sudden, a real estate agent has seen you 20, 30 times before you pick up the phone and call and ask to take them out for a coffee or out for lunch to talk about your referral reward program. Oh, I know you guys. Or it's now they got a door hanger. It's now time for them to hire a carpet cleaner. They've seen you in the neighborhood and they go, I know those guys. You have created that omnipresence by building and marketing your reputation. Podcasts. So getting on Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast. Come on. What do? We syndicate all over the place your story. You should be seen as a local expert. So we're going to interview you. You should be on the podcast, get interviewed, tell your story. And then we promote it everywhere. That helps with backlinks and AI. You should be promoting it as well. Look at me. I got interviewed. I was just featured on the Carpet Cleaner Success Podcast. Share that everywhere, right? We create reels and shorts that you can put on TikTok and on Instagram and all that kind of stuff of your smartest comments. I ask the questions, you answer, we have a fun time, we go deep, and we create all kinds of graphics that can share out that you've probably never had in your business before, and it builds your authority. So let's recap. Google reviews are not enough. I hope you realize all of that stuff I just showed you, none of it's comes from just a Google review. How AI enhanced outreach across platforms can speed up reputation growth. From feedback to influence, evolving happy customers into reputation capital, new word of the day, and how a consistent customer experience drives loyalty and credibility. You want to make sure that every single time you show up to a customer, it's the same experience they get. It's a great experience. You've crafted that experience, because then that way you get more reviews, but you also lock that customer in. They refer more. Other people go find out about you. They talk about how great the experience was in all of your posts and reviews. You share that in your happy customer stories, and now you're unique. You get to manufacture reality. The experience you provide is yours and yours alone. And it should be not just better than any other carpet cleaner, it should be better than any other service provider has provided. So, takeaways. Got any? Was this an okay use of your time? An amazing use of your time? Did you figure out anything new? Have you thought some things through a little bit better? Hopefully, because implementation is the only thing that counts. So part of our coaching, implementation is everything. Most businesses fail, not because they don't have enough ideas. I probably just landed, 20, 30 ideas on you right there, 40 ideas on you. I don't know how many that you might have picked out of this. If you go back and re-listen to it and write them all down. But none of them have any value if you don't pick a couple, top 3, and just make them the rock to get in place this month or this quarter, and just do it. The key to growth is immediate action. What is the thing you can do this afternoon to get you closer to putting one of those things in place? Do you have a client experience? Is your vans wrapped? Do you have, are you asking for feedback or just reviews? Are you taking feedback and reviews that you're finding around the web and posting them on all other sources and turning them into great looking images and videos and things like that? Are you documenting happy customer stories before, during, and after, and putting those into your marketing every single week or at least every single month, and then sharing those out? Are you doing any of this stuff? Because you're the marketer of cleaning services first and foremost. You need to implement like crazy, and you need to teach AI why you're the best. So marketing is not a side activity. It is actually the business you're in. Sorry if you signed up to be a carpet cleaner. If you own a cleaning company or any business, you are marketing that services to create an operations problem. You're solving operations problems to create a data and finance need to dig in and learn how to grow, becoming the CEO. You got to work your way through. But marketing will always be the cornerstone. The economy gets bad, you market more. It's winter, it's slow season, you market more. You don't market less. Marketing is not an expense. It is an investment, and the only investment in growth. When you show up in uniform and have clean vans because you have a program in place, an operations program that every van has to leave your shop and go 2.5 blocks that way, 1 left, and go through the car wash right there, because that's when I ran my cleaning companies. That's where it went. You have a deal with that car wash. Your vehicles are washed. That is also a marketing moment. That is a marketing expense. It's operational, but it's, wash the van once every couple of weeks is operational. Washing it every single day is marketing, right? You're the marketer. You want the best foot forward everywhere you go. The best businesses are not the best operators. They're the best marketers, who then need to refine operations to scale. Commit to one major marketing shift this week. So steps to implement trust engineering: put together an online survey, create a review capture page, write an email and SMS series, set up an email and SMS autoresponder, train your staff on how to request reviews and feedback, publish and post your reviews and feedback to your website, your social media accounts, create a scalable, shareable social review image to syndicate, like with the images that we showed, market those out everywhere else. So you want to create images, use Canva, things like that, do all that, monitor all of the directories for positive and negative reviews, respond to all of them. That's how you start engineering happy customer stories, on and on and on. And you don't have time to do that. You could, maybe you hire somebody. That's probably 3 to 4 hour a day job, if you're done well, to do all of this marketing and do sort of that social outreach, social media management, all around all of this kind of stuff, right? So at a going rate, $20 an hour, that might be $80 a day, $200, $300 a week, whatever that works out to in 15,000, 20,000 a year. There is an easy button. Step 1, if you're not a client of ours, go to carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/scan and take a look at what it looks like, right? Get your free online reputation audit. It's just a tool we use, uses some AI and stuff like that to go and do a bit of a scan. Then our team usually goes in the back end and cleans up some of the misinformation that not every scan can pull everything, but you can get a starting point, give us a call, and then we can go in and do the real the real search. Our clients get a much deeper monthly report that goes, a lot beyond this. But yeah, we have local visibility and online audit reports just to get a good idea of where, a good starting point, a baseline report. You can also reach out to us. We have built the exact blueprint for success, been teaching this since 2007, how to grow the company that you want. It's not guesswork. You need to have things happening before the sale, during the sale, from the moment they reach out to the moment you go, bye, ma'am, see you next time. And then after the sale, ongoing follow-up and, the perfect cadence of staying in touch with them and recipe for recoveries and all of those kinds of things. You need to be thinking through building a systemized business, automate as much as you can, keep the human element in as much as you can as well. Real people want to talk to real people, so don't try and automate everything, but have outreaches, have touch points, have all of that kind of stuff. Build real relationships with real referral partners. That starts very slow. It's a dating process. You have to start by nodding to the girl at the end of the bar or the guy at the end of the bar. And then you have to get the flower girl to maybe go give a flower. And then maybe you want to tell the bartender to give her a drink. That might be the same night. That might be the next night you see them. Eventually you want her to come, her and her friends to come and hang out with you and your friends. And all that. Eventually, all of this could go on for weeks. All you're trying to do is have a coffee, and then maybe go to a show, and then maybe go out for dinner down the road, and then maybe start sort of a dating, and eventually that might be the person you marry, right? But you're not going to walk up to the girl and go, "Hey, you're cute, let's get married." And it's never going to work. So you have to date your customers, you have to date your referral partners, and you have to build credibility. And if that person looks down the bar and sees you and goes, I wonder if they're a scammer, they're going to start asking their friends, anybody know this person? Oh my God, that's Tim. He's awesome. He's amazing. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Or, no, never seen him before. Looks a little sketch. Right? That's what people are thinking about your business as well. So there's a blueprint that helps tie it all together. You can become the best known cleaner. Again, there are 7 core digital marketing elements every business needs. They're essential. You cannot have them separated and not integrated. You have to have a website that is all about search everywhere optimization. Social media has to be tied to all of that, all of the coding and the schema. You have to have paid ads running because some people just go to the paid ad platform, and you want to have paid ads done the right way so you're attracting the right clients and kicking as many as possible and moving the ones that aren't the right clients out of your funnels. You want to have Google Maps ranking for as far and wide around for every one of your services as you possibly can. There's a good, better, best, and a lot of effort in that. You want to have your reputation being built and marketed, and you want to have all of that tied together with a lead database CRM. All 7 of those, drip nurturing your database, drip nurturing your clientele. All of that together, and you have built an integrated Omnipresence marketing system. So that's the end of our call, 90 minutes. Not bad. If you'd like help with any of this to become a larger than life appearance in the marketplace, at least to your ideal clients, you don't need to be amazing to everybody, just to the people that are your ideal customer avatar. Go to carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/schedule. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if there's a way that we can help. I do consulting. I don't do sales. So you're going to get on a consulting call. We're going to go through all of your competitors, all that stuff, and see what gaps you have in your plan. Maybe you've stepped over 4 or 5 things to try and do this. You think this is really exciting. We all do that. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. We try and do something over here, but we haven't set everything else up in place to get there. So that will never work. Oh, I tried that. That doesn't work. 9 times out of 10, that doesn't work because you haven't set the foundation of everything else before it. It's working for somebody. It's just not working for you. So understanding the order of operations and building that blueprint and putting things in place and having how fast can you run. Some people can do it really quickly, and within months they've got it all going. Other people take their time and just do a few things. But what you don't want to do is just do the same thing you're doing, just try a different marketing channel, but everything else is the same. You're running the same business 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You're just running year 1 over and over and over again. You never want that. You want the business to grow, develop, mature, and there's a plan behind that. So, and this reputation, understanding the whole dynamics of reputation, building, management, monitoring, and marketing, and especially in the AI age, is just one of those essentials, one of those 7 essential integrative omnipresence marketing pieces. And they all tie together to make everything you do, every door hanger, every yard sign, every Google ad, everything you do work better, because you've also got reputation marketing in the mix as well. And it influences people to come back, even if they left. If they saw you once, they should have already seen you 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 times, and then decide to reach out to you and then tell AI, you know what? I know that brand. Let's call them. Let's hire them. I've heard they're good, because AI came back with a couple choices. You're one of them, but now you've stood out because of everything you've done. So anyways, if any of that makes sense, carpetcleanermarketingmasters.com/schedule. With that, I will let you carry on with your day. Hope you learned something. If you did, put some comments in wherever you're consuming this, YouTube, on Spotify, anywhere like that. Let us know if this has been helpful at all. Really appreciate it. And until next time, thanks so much for showing up, and we'll catch you on the flip side.